Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here today. In this episode, I want to talk about trust. I woke up and I had a dream. I had a dream where I had it all figured out. But then I was dating this girl who was blonde, and we're different. And we were walking around, people were looking, and I was so insecure. I was frightened because I was so afraid of what other people think. And that dream it felt like a nightmare. Isn't that crazy? Like I had everything I ever wanted. All the money, all the, job, careers, and relationship and everything. But then just because the person that I was dating is different. And then people was looking at me and I felt like it was just a nightmare the whole time. Isn't that crazy? That we're dating our own species and we're afraid of being judged because we look different. But anyway, that's not what I'm trying to say. But isn't it crazy, like when we grow up as a little kid, we're like a fresh blank canvas. And then we're growing up and we happen to go through all these things, we're seeing all these things, and you're just molding our identity, the way we think, into the person that you are right now, listening to this, the way you think and the way you see the world. It's just amazing, right? But it's also frightening. Because sometimes we're just hardwired now. It's hard to change. It's hard to think the other way around. So I woke up and I went outside to the balcony. It was early. It's like 30 minutes ago. Today is Saturday. What is today? Let's see. Today is Saturday, June the 6th. Yes. And I'm gonna be honest. If you trade the stock market, you would know today. Yesterday, June the 5th. That's what I was talking about in the last episode. The stock market dumped like a dumpster fire. And I was busy at work. And couldn't get on it. But right before I get into work, around like 9:30, I was driving to work and I recorded myself saying, I have made my decision. I am gonna hold. I am not getting out of my short positions. But I was afraid. I was scared that I'm gonna lose money. So I got out. And guess what I did? It kept on going and going and going and going. And I missed out the run. And now I'm sitting here looking at it. It's like, gosh, only if I listened to myself. Even I record myself on my phone. So I won't, scare myself away. But again, I act based on fears, and I was afraid. And but I don't want to talk about it. But what if everything, every mistakes, every second, every single moment that happened in your life was meant to be? The exact moment you're sitting right now, or you're listening to this podcast, at this moment is perfectly created, perfectly, the way they were meant to be. Would you still be dwelling on the past? Because let's say if I tell you, within 2 years, you're gonna have everything you ever wanted. But you're gonna have to go through the ups and downs. Or you wouldn't believe it, but if God tell you, if God or the universe somehow communicated with you, and you believe it, and now today you stumble, today you're fucked up, would you still believe? Or think that you suck? No. You're just on the path getting there. And these are just some of the rock that you're gonna stumble on. The bum that you're gonna get bumps on, and yeah. Just an absolute obstacle you have to overcome. Because I was out there in the balcony having a hard time to enjoy the early morning with all the animals were making sounds early in the morning, all the birds were chirping, because I can't help but think of what could have been. And I know I talked about it in the last episode. But yes, it's hard to let go up to thinking, the better things could have happened. But we really never think of the worst thing could have happened. Yes, this podcast would never exist if I had never had to go through shit in my life. And here we are, almost 400 episodes. I believe this is gonna be $3.99. Isn't that crazy how far I've come? Even though there's no one listening, even though there's no views, no followers. But it was never about it anyway. It was just about me figuring my life out. And yet, I'm still in a shitbag disaster. And I'm in much worse place financially. But look around. Look around at how far you come. Yes, some of these days, they suck, Especially when you keep on seeing below zero, negative balance in the bank account, alert on the email, the early email, But still, it will get better. But just to be blunt here, you give up now and you fuck. I did that too many times. That's what I'm doing right now, probably. Skipping the gyms and eating junk foods and slipping back into my bad habits. And and even jacking off too. It's hard. It's hard when lives don't go the way you want. Doesn't go the way you want. And you tend to slip back into the bad habits. Drinking the alcohols and trying things to numb yourself because you don't want to feel like shit. And the hard part is to stick around. To keep on showing up even when it's ugly, even when it's messy. And I'm gonna try again today. I'm going to the gym after this. It's been a while. Funny how I thought this podcast was gonna end a couple episodes ago. But now I'm trying again. And it's like some days you're just gonna feel like giving up. Some days you don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like trying. And that's okay. But what's not okay is to give up. I know it sounds so cliche, isn't it? But if you give up, you're done for. You cook. But if you're still here, you're still listening to this, you know you have what it takes to move yourself, even when your body is screaming to lay back, to stay in bed, and somehow you pull yourself up. You fool yourself to get out of the house and go do something. Because it's easy to make the right decisions when lives go right. What's hard is to make the hard decision when lives go wrong. You know? So, whatever it is you're working towards, it's okay that you don't have it now. It's okay that you feel like you're behind or losing in life. Everyone seems like to be way ahead of you. That's okay. Because life was never a race. I mean, even if it was never about you and other people. But it's about you against yourself. Just you and yourself. Funny how I look at my photos from years ago. I look good. I look like a fucking Chad. But after all these years, you know, the stress can't get caught up to you, and you just, even when I'm at work, clients always say I'm older than my sister, and my sister, they're like 6-7 years older than me, and I'm like, God, what have I been doing? And I look at my old photo and I'm like, how the fuck did I turn from that to this within a couple of years? And maybe it's just all the stress and all the things that I've been going through. All of the things that I've been putting myself through. All of the shit talking that I told myself. That you're not enough. You suck. You're not worthy. You're a loser. You're this and that, this and that. And guess where it got me? I talked my reality into, or talked the things that I was so afraid of into reality. And when I look at the mirror, I don't like what I see, and I wonder why. Because I've been so hard on myself. I say things to myself that I would never say to anyone, even my worst enemy. And I say it to myself. Isn't that fucking crazy? And this podcast has it's never had a turning point, ever. I keep on going back and forth with these topics, up saying, oh, I'm gonna try. And here I am, still here, struggling to try. But it's okay. Life's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would have it figured out. But one thing I have to say for sure is I've turned a little more mature than who I was 3-4 years ago. I built this callous mind inside my head that it's okay that I'm doing what I'm doing. It's okay to live the life that I'm living. And it's okay to be disliked by other people. Even when they're looking down on you and say things about you. And it doesn't really get the best of me anymore. And it's just, we guys just gotta live and we learn. We gotta tumble and we learn. We trip, we fall, and our face again the ground, and it hurt, and it's painful, but we learn. We learn something every time we fail, we fall. And even though, if I'm listening to me talking in a podcast or in an episode, I would throw up because it's so cringe, Like I'm just so bad at podcasts. Or just sitting here talking like I'm not interested in other people and all that jazz. But I kind of get over that. Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't have to wait until I have the perfect voice, the perfect accent. I don't have to wait until I have it all figured out, and then I could finally be doing more fun and impressive episodes. Just like everything else in life. I don't have to have it all figured out so I could finally enjoy it and do it. It's like there's this voice in the back of my head that's saying, you can only enjoy today if you didn't fucked up yesterday, or if you have no regrets, then you can finally enjoy the day. You can only finally enjoy this moment right now if you make the right call yesterday. And it's like my mind's all over these things that went wrong, but never really think of the things that could have been gone really, really, really bad. And it makes you realize that sometimes you're just lucky just to be here, lucky to be breathing, to still having all your limbs intact, still having to live another day, still get to see your parent again today. Still get to see another sunrise, get to drive to work, get to brush your teeth, get to sleep, get to lay on the couch, get to go to bed without having a struggle. You know, I thought of the people that are in wheelchairs, how do they go into the car, go to the bathroom, go to public bathrooms, and, doing all these things that we have the privilege to do, but we're so used to it, we're so taking it for granted because we never know what it's like to lose these privileges. Do you know what I'm saying? We keep on thinking of what we lost, what we don't have, but we don't think of the things we could have lost. Because life could have been fucking 1,000, 100,000 more worse than where you are right now. It's just like that saying, when you're normal like this right now, you have hundreds and hundreds of problems. Money, relationship, people, and any kind of problems you have, things that you want to go right, that in your mind they're going through right now. But once you're sick, once you find out you have the cancer, you lay in, now you realize that you have stage 4 cancer, you lay in that hospital bed. You know for sure now you will only have one problem. And one thing you ever want is to get healthy again. It's to be healthy again. People don't realize that. I don't realize that too. Maybe I just need to stick that in the back of my fucking head, that I'm just glad that I'm not sick right now. I'm glad I'm not laying in that hospital bed right now. I'm happy to be healthy right now. And now I get it. I get why people do meditation and affirmation in the morning. Something that I struggle to do. To do even just a couple minutes. And now I think about it, it all makes sense. Once you're happy with what you got, the things you wish you have, they don't have much weight on you anymore. It still sucks thinking about it, but at the same time, you're much better off than laying in the hospital bed. There's a parallel universe out there, a version of you that made the right call yesterday, went home and ran into a tree, and now laying in the hospital bed thinking, gosh, I wish I never made that call. I wouldn't have ran into that tree after work, because life could have been different. Because just one thing changed, the other thing changes. You know? So it's like your life is like a blessing in disguise right now. The call you didn't make yesterday, maybe it wasn't bad at all. It was a blessing in disguise. Oh God, we're passing 20 minutes. I didn't know that. Wow. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you on the next one.